Good morning everyone from the committee room here at Lords. I'm Jim Hindson from the Cricketer and I'm joined by our editor Hugh Turberville. And we're here for the Voneus Village Cup draw ahead of the 2024 season. We've got a bumper entry this year. We've got 356 teams who are dreaming of reaching the final, and the final takes place here at Lords on Sunday, September the 15th. Hugh, that's quite a prize.
Every cricketer in the world would absolutely love to be here, and I just can't get out of my head the memories of a guy called Ben Johns, the 2021 final, match-winning 50 for Calmore Sports from Hampshire, a star jump in the middle of the field, incredible day. And then you can explore the building with its beautiful paintings. You've got the change rooms where the Ashes, England, Australia change, and then in the evening you've got dinner in the long room with the finest wines known to humanity. It's a great day and a great evening.
And some of the most incredible games have taken place on that hallowed turf out there, and I suppose the two that spring to my mind, the England women in 2017 becoming world champions, and then the England men in 2019.
Yeah, the Heather Knight and Owen Morgan's armies bringing national glory, and so many World Cup finals going back to 1975, Ashes Test, all sorts of amazing occasions. It's just unbelievable, really.
Well, before we go any further, we're going to start the draw very shortly. Let's hear from Lydia Greenway. Lydia is a famous Ashes winner and a TV pundit who I'm delighted to say is ambassador once again for Voneus for the 2024 season. So, Lids, over to you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another year of the Voneus Village Cup, which, as many of you know, is the staple of rural sporting life across Great Britain, and it has been for over 50 years. I know every team who enters will be hugely excited. There will no doubt be lots of twists and turns along the way, and of course the two teams who make the final will have the privilege of playing at the home of cricket at Lords, and I can't wait to see the two sides there. Also, don't forget that again this year we will be running the Community Legends Awards, which is where you can enter your club to celebrate the unsung heroes of the work that is done not just at the cricket club but also in the wider community, and the impact that the cricket club has on the community. We received brilliant applications last year. The winners get to receive a legendary end of season do award, which I know all cricket clubs love, so make sure you enter your side, and I really look forward and hope to meet many of you along the way.
Thanks very much, Lids. So, on to the draw now, Hugh. There's 32 regions across the country, 356 teams. We start with Group 1, which is Scotland, and there are 5 teams in this group. We start with the second round in this group, so the first 2 teams you draw out will be playing in round 2. So if you want to draw those 2 teams.
Number 1.
Number 1 is Bute County, and they will be at home. 2.
Number 5.
Which is Maidling, who are the team situated furthest north. The winner of that tie will play at home in the third round 2.
Number 3.
Number 3, which is Falkland, who were regional champions last year.
Number 2.
Number 2 is Doon, and they will play at home to
Number 4.
Number 4, which is Fruki, who famously won here at Lords in 1985. So that concludes the second and third round draw for Group 1 Scotland. So now we move on to Group 2. We've got 5 teams in this group, and that means we'll start with a single second round tie, the winners of which will play at home in the third round. So Hugh, if you want to do the honours.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Soxfield, and they will be at home too.
Number 1.
Number 1, which is Bomerson, who were champions in 1974. And the winner of that tie will be at home in round 3 too.
Number 3.
Number 3, which is Sacriston, who were regional champions last year. And the final tie,
Number 5.
will be number 5, which is Wolverston, and they will play against
Number 2.
number 2, which is Evenwood. And that concludes the draw for Group 2. So now we move on to Group 3, and it's a pretty big group, this one. 19 teams in total in the North Yorkshire North group. The first 6 teams drawn out will play off in preliminary round matches, and they will earn the right to play at home in the first round proper. So if you draw out the first teams, please, and they'll play in their preliminary round. So we've got
Number 16.
Number 16, which is Sutton on Hull.
Number 13.
Number 13, which is Silton.
Number 6.
Number 6 is Goldsborough.
Number 15.
Number 15 is South Milford.
Number 14.
Number 14 is South Holderness.
Number 8.
Number 8, which is Hensall. Okay, so that is the first 3 ties. They are preliminary round ties. So the next ball you draw out will play away to Sutton on Hull or Silton, whoever wins that fixture.
Number 9.
And that is number 9, which is Heslington. The next ball you draw out will play away to the winner of Goldsborough against South Milford.
12.
Number 12, which is Sheriff Hutton Bridge, who were champions in 2005. That was quite a year. And the next team drawn out will play away to the winner of the preliminary round tie between South Holderness and Hensall.
19.
And that is number 19. That is Woodhouse Grange, 4 times champions, the most successful team in Village Cup history. So that should be quite a tie. So if you carry on drawing, all of the remaining balls to come out, or the remaining teams to come out, will take part in the first round proper.
11.
So number 11 is Rockcliffe Park, and they will be at home to
1.
number 1, which is Aldborough St John.
5.
Number 5 is Forge Valley, who were champions in 1986.
2.
They will play against Caton.
3.
Number 3 is Eberston, who will be at home to
Number 4.
number 4, which is Folkestone and Flixton, who were 2018 champions.
Yeah. Number 10.
Number 10 is Moorshome. They'll be at home to
7.
number 7, which is Great Hampton. And final tie for this round,
17.
number 17, Thornton Limor, will play against
18.
number 18, which is Thornton Watworth. So that concludes the draw for Group 3, the North Yorkshire North Group. So we move on to Group 4 now, which is the North Yorkshire South Group. And the first 4 teams drawn out will play in round 1 to earn the right of a home tie in round 2. So if you draw out the first 4 teams, please.
Number 6.
So number 6 is Colton Towers, who were 2020 semi-finalists. Still managed to get the competition on despite the pandemic, and they will be at home to
9.
number 9, which is Killinghall.
Number 5.
Number 5 is Broughton.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Olne. So the next ball you draw out will play away in the second round against the winners of Colton Towers and Killinghall.
7.
And that team is East Ardsley. The next ball you draw out, that team will play away in the second round to the winner of Broughton against Ulm. And that team is
2.
which is Oakborough. And then the final 2 ties of round 2 are
Number 8.
number 8, Harone. And they will play at home to
1.
number 1, which is Addingham. And finally,
4.
number 4, Branders Burton, who will be at home to
10.
number 10, which is Patrington, who were regional champions last year. And that concludes the draw for Group 4. So now we move on to Group 5, which is West Yorkshire, South Yorkshire and Humberside. And the first 6 teams drawn out will play in the first round to earn the rights to play at home the second round of the competition. So if you want to draw out first 2 teams, so we've got
Number 4.
number 4, which is Great Preston, and they will be at home to
Number 10.
number 10, which is Street House.
Number 6.
Number 6 is Kippax.
5.
And they will play at home to Houghton Main, 2006 champions. And the final tie of the first round.
Number 8.
Number 8 is Alton. And they'll be at home to
Number 9.
number 9, which is Slaveplate. So the next ball we draw out, the next team, they will play away in round 2 against the winner of Great Preston versus Street House. And that team is
7.
number 7, which is Middleton and North Dalton. The next ball we draw out, that team will play away against the winner of Kippax versus Houghton Main.
Number 1.
That team is Ackworth, who were regional champions last year. And the next team you draw out will play away against the winners of Alton against Slaveway, and that team is
Number 3.
number 3, which is Frickley Colliery. And the final tie of the second round is
Number 2.
number 2, which is Drylington, and they will play at home to
Number 11.
number 11, which is Thornton. And that concludes the draw for Group 5. So now we move on to Group 6, which is Cumbria and North Lancashire. The first 8 teams drawn out in this group will play in round 1 to earn the right to a home tie in round 2. So if you start the draw here.
Number 6.
Number 6 is Lancashire, and they will be at home to
3.
number 3, which is Daisy Hill.
9.
Number 9, which is Salisbury.
4.
Number 4, which is Edgeworth.
10.
Number 10 is Shireshead and Forton, who were quarter-finalists in 2023.
Number 8.
Number 8 is Reed.
5.
Number 5 is Grimsar.
11.
Number 11 is Torresholm. So the next team you draw out, the next ball you draw out, will play away against the winners of Lancashire and Daisy Hill, and that team is
2.
Number 2, which is Cleator, 2013 champions out here at Lords. The next team you draw out will play against either Salisbury or Edgeworth in round 2, and they'll be away from home, and that team is
7.
Number 7, which is Lindlemore, who were champions back in 1977. The next team out will play the winners of Shireshead and Forton and Reed.
Number 1.
Number 1, which is Burnside, and then their final ball in there, this team will play the winners of Grimsar against Torrisholm in round 2.
12.
And that is Ray Green. And that concludes the draw for Group 6. So now we move on to Group 7, which is South Lancashire, and all of these ties will take place in the second round. So the first team out is
3.
number 3, Fowlridge, and they'll be at home to
6.
number 6, that's Sedgwick.
Number 1.
Ainsdale, who were 2023 regional champions, they'll start at home to
Number 4.
number 4, which is Pendle Forest.
2.
Number 2, which is Osterlands, they'll be at home to
8.
8, which is Woodhouses, famously champions in 2011. And the final tie of this round is
7.
7, Waltham Ladale, and they'll be at home to
5.
number 5, which is Sabden. And that concludes the draw for Group 7. So now we move on to Group 8, which is Cheshire and Clwyd, and all the teams in this group will play off in the first round, so that makes it a bit more straightforward. So Hugh, if you want to start the draw.
11.
Number 11 is Moberley, and they will play at home against
10.
number 10, which is Irby.
3.
Number 3, Birchvale and Thornset will be at home
7.
to Holkin.
1.
Number 1, Alvanley will start at home this year, 2021 finalists.
2.
Number 2 is Barrow.
14.
Number 14 is Over Peover,
16.
and they will play at home to Tattenhall.
12.
Number 12 is Northop, and they'll be at home to
Number 4.
number 4, Broadbottom.
5.
5 is Coldy, so they'll have a home tie. They were champions in 1996 and 1997.
6.
And they will play against Cholmondeley in the final 2 ties.
8.
8, Hawarden Park
13.
against Northock Hall. The final tie is
15.
15, which is Staley, who were regional champions in 2023, and they will be at home to
9.
number 9, which is Hawk Green. And that concludes the draw for Group 8. So now we move on to Group 9, Derbyshire, and the first 6 teams you draw out will play in the first round to earn the right to a home tie in the second round.
Number 9.
Number 9, South Wingfield, who were regional champions in 2023, and they'll play at home to
5.
Number 5, which is Elverston, who were champions in 1994 and 2000.
11.
Number 11 is Walton-on-Trent, and they will be at home to
2.
Number 2, which is Brailsford and Ednaston.
8.
Number 8 is Shipley Hall.
3.
And number 3 is Dinting. So the next ball you draw out, the next team you draw out will play away at the winner of South Wingfield and Elverston, and that team is, and that'll be in round 2. That team is
7.
number 7, Langley Mill United. The next team you draw out, they will play away in round 2 at the winners of Walton-on-Trent against Brailsford and Ednaston, and that team is
4.
number 4, which is Doveholes. And the next team you draw out, they will play away in round 2 the winners of Shipley Hall against Dinting, and that team is
10.
number 10, which is Stainsby Hall. And then the final tie in the second round will be
1.
number 1, which is Apenol, and they'll be at home to
6.
number 6, which is Holmesfield, who were regional finalists in 2023. And that concludes the draw for Group 9. So now we move on to Group 10, which is the West Midlands. There's 5 teams in this group. The first 2 teams drawn out will play against each other in round 2 to earn the right to a home tie in round 3, and those teams are
Number 1.
number 1, which is Burwarton.
Number 4.
They'll play at home to Pelsall, and then the next team drawn out will play the winner of that tie away in the 3rd round, and that team is
2.
number 2, which is Hodnet and Peplow, who were 2023 regional finalists. So the final tie of this round is, so this is a round 3 tie.
3.
Number 3, Milford Hall. So Milford Hall were 2023 champions. Just a few months ago they were celebrating out here and enjoying a sumptuous banquet in the long room. So that's Milford Hall. They start off at home to
Number 5.
number 5, Warfield. And that concludes the draw for Group 10, which included the Voneus Village Cup 2023 champions, Milford Hall. So now we move on to Group 11, which is the East Midlands, and all of the teams involved in this group will play off in the first round, which makes things simple for us, Hugh. So if you're going to draw the first team out.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Caythorpe, and they will be at home to
6.
number 6, which is Cuckney. Now, Cuckney first team actually won the ECB National Knockout out here a few months ago, 2023 champions, and they've entered a second team into this competition. Remember, you can do that. You can't enter, none of your Premier League registered players can play, but if you're a well-run club like Cuckney, you can enter a second 11 into the competition. So good to see them entering. And the next tie, please.
7.
Number 7 is Farnsfield, and they will be at home to
12.
number 12, which is Newtown Linford.
13.
13 is Revesby, they'll be at home to
8.
number 8, which is Kibworth.
15.
15 is Thrumpton, which is a beautiful ground. They'll be at home to
9.
number 9, which is Langtons, who were 2023 regional finalists.
16.
16 is Tutbury. They'll be at home to
4.
number 4, which is Checkley.
10.
Number 10, Loudon. They will be at home to
11.
11, which is Luvenham.
14.
14, Thoresby Colliery will be at home to
2.
number 2, which is Calverton. And the final tie of this round,
1.
number 1, Bartby United, who were quarter-finalists last year. They'll be at home
5.
to Clifton from Derbyshire, and that concludes the draw for Group 11. Now we move on to Group 12, which is Warwickshire. The first 2 teams drawn out will play in the first round to earn the right to play a home tie in the second round, and those 2 teams are
3.
number 3, which is Exhall and Wixford, who were finalists in 2004. They will play against
7.
number 7, which is Tamworth and Camp Hill. So the winner of that tie will play at home in the second round to
2.
number 2, which is Corley, and continuing the second round draw,
9.
number 9, Water Orton, who were regional champions in 2023. They'll be at home to
1.
number 1, which is Bulkington.
6.
The 6, Standard. They'll be at home to
5.
the 5, which is Nether Whittaker.
4.
And number 4, Philongley, who were semi-finalists in 2018. Actually went to that game. It was a beautiful day, lovely ground as well. And they'll be at home to kick off the tournament in 2024 to
Number 8.
number 8, which is Temple Grafton. And that concludes the draw for Group 12. So now we move on to Group 13, which is Worcestershire, and there's 10 teams in this group. The first 4 teams drawn out will play in the first round to earn the right to home ties in the second round. So Hugh, if you want to commence the draw.
Number 10.
Number 10 is Quat, and they will play against
9.
number 9, which is Hagley.
7.
Number 7, Elmley Castle. They play against
5.
5, which is Cookley, who were champions in 1977. So the next team you draw out, they will play away in the second round to the winners of Quat against Hagley, and that team is
3.
number 3, which is Breedon. And the next ball you draw out, that team will play against the winners of Elmley Castle against Cookley, and they will play away in the second round against the winners of those 2 teams, and that will be
Number 1.
number 1, which is Aswood Bank, who were double champions 1972 and 2003. And the final 2 ties of the second round are
4.
number 4, which is Bretforton,
Number 2.
against number 2, which is Belbroughton.
Number 6.
Number 6, Dumbleton, who are champions out here in 2022, and they will play against
Number 8.
number 8, which is Feckenham. And that concludes the draw for Group 13. So now we move on to Group 14, which is Herefordshire and Powys. And we've got 7 teams in this group. The first 6 teams drawn out of this group will play against each other to earn the right of ties in the third round. And the 7th team drawn out will get a bye to that third round. So Hugh, if you want to kick off the season.
Number 2.
Number 2 is Brockhampton, and they will be at home. Brockhampton regional champions in 2023. They'll be at home too.
6.
Number 6, which is West Malvern. West Malvern.
7.
Number 7 is Wormelo.
5.
And they will be at home to Foundhope Strollers.
3.
Number 3 is Berghill, Tillington and Wearbley.
Number 1.
And they will play at home to Aston Ingham. Which means that the team getting the bye into the third round is
4.
Number 4, which is Colwell, who will play away in the third round against the winners of Berghill, Tillington and Wearbley against Aston Ingham. Colwell, remember, 2020 champions, so in the sort of the middle of COVID they played out here. I think it was the only non-professional game to take place at Lord's in 2020. Colwell were champions and they start their campaign away this year, and that concludes the draw for Group 14. Okay, so now we move on to Group 15, which is Northamptonshire. We have got 6 teams in this group. The first 4 teams drawn out will play in round 2, and they are playing for the right of a home tie in round 3. And those 4 teams are...
Number 1.
Number 1, which is Castor and Aylesworth, who are regional finalists in 2023. They kick off their campaign at home to...
2.
Number 2, which is Haddon.
5.
Number 5 is Loddington and Maudsley, who were regional champions last year, and they will play at home to
6.
number 6, which is Weekley and Walkton. And the next ball you draw out will play away in the third round against the winner of Castor and Aylesworth and Haddon, and that team is
4.
number 4, which is Kimbolton. And the final ball to be drawn out will play the winners of Loddington and Maudsley and Weekley and Walkton away from home in the second round. That team is
Number 3.
number 3, which is Horton House. And that concludes the draw for Group 15. So now we'll move on to Group 16, which is Dyfed. And we've got 6 teams in this group. The first 4 teams will play in round 2 to earn the right of a home tie in round 3. And those teams are...
4.
Number 4, which is Daffin Welfare.
3.
3, which is Cresley.
6.
Number 6, which is Landisle, who were regional champions last year.
2.
And they will play at home to Carew, who were regional finalists in 2023. So the next team you draw out, they will play away in round 3 against the winners of Daffin Welfare and Cresley, and that team is
Number 1.
number 1, Bromwood. And the final ball that you draw out, that team will play away in the third round against the winners of Clandisle and Carew, and that team is
5.
number 5, which is Loreley. And that concludes the draw for Group 16. So now we move on to Group 17, which is Glamorgan and Gwent. And the first 6 teams drawn out will play in the second round, and the 7th team drawn out will get a bye to the third round.
Number 3.
So number 3, which is Miskin Manor, they will be at home to
Number 2.
and number 2, which is Lisvane.
Number 4.
Number 4, Surrey Centurions, who were 2004 champions.
Number 1.
Number 1, they will play against Bagley.
Number 7.
Number 7, which is Innistowie, who were 2001 finalists.
Number 6.
And number 6, which is Tondu. And so the final ball left in will play the winner of that tie. So Innistowie against Tondu at home in round 3, and that team is
Number 5.
number 5, which is Surrey Spartans, who were 2023 regional champions. And that concludes the draw for the second and third round of the group number 17 for Morgan and Gwent. So now we move on to Group 18, which is Gloucestershire. There are 12 teams in this group. The first 8 teams drawn out will play off in round 1 to earn the right of a home tie in round 2 against 4 of the teams, the remaining 4 teams that will get byes. All will be revealed. So let's kick off the draw with the first round.
Number 8.
So number 8 is Kingsholm. They'll play at home to
3.
number 3, which is Cam.
4.
And number 4 is Frampton on 7.
5.
And they will play at home to Froster.
11.
11 is Rockhampton, who were 2013 finalists.
7.
And they will play at home to Hynham Court.
6.
And then we have Gotherington, who will play at home to
10.
number 10, which is Painswick, who were 2023 regional champions. So the next ball you draw out will play away in the second round to the winner of Kingsholm against Cam, and that team is
9.
9, which is Marshfield, who were regional finalists in 2023. The next team drawn out will play away against the winner of Frampton on 7 against Froster in the second round.
Number 1.
Number 1, which is Almondsbury. The next team drawn out will play against the winner of Rockhampton against Hynham Court. And that team is
2.
2, which is Apperley. And the final team drawn out will play against the winner of Gotherington against Painswick, and that team is
Number 12.
number 12, which is Winterbourne. And that concludes the draw for Group 18. So now we move on to Group 19, which is Oxfordshire. We've got 18 teams in this group. The first 4 teams drawn out will play in the preliminary round to earn the right to the home tie to play in the first round proper. So let's start with those teams, Hugh.
6.
Number 6, which is Hook Norton, and they will play against
14.
14, which is Sandford St Martin.
9.
Number 9, which is Kingston Bagpuss.
1.
And they will play against Aston Rowant. And the next ball you draw out will play the winner of Hook Norton and Sandford St Martin in the first round proper. They'll be away from home, this team.
2.
Number 2, which is Challow and Childry. The next team you draw out will play away in the first round proper to the winners of Kingston Bagpuss against Aston Rowant, and that is
10.
10, which is Langford. So now the remaining teams left in will play off in the first round proper. So the first team out is
3.
number 3, which is Crop Ready, and they will play at home to
13.
13, which is Oxford Downs.
5.
Number 5, Great and Little Chew, who are 2014 finalists, and they will play at home to
7.
number 7, which is Hawley.
18.
We've got 18, which is Tiddington, who are 1995 finalists and 2023 regional finalists, and they will kick off at home to
15.
15, Shipton under Wychwood, double champions 2002 and 2003.
12.
The 12 is Oxford and Bletchington nondescripts, they'll be at home to
17.
17, which is the Boldens.
11.
11 is Minster Lovell, who will be at home to
8.
8, which is Horsepath, who are 2023 regional champions.
16.
16 is Stanton Harcourt, and they will be at home for the final tie of the first round proper to
4.
number 4, which is Cumnor. So that concludes the preliminary round and first round proper draw for Group 19. So now we move on to Group 20, which is the Dorset and Wiltshire group. There are 13 teams in this round, and that means the first 10 teams drawn out will play in the first round. So we'll kick off with that, and then we'll come on to some byes which we've got as well. But the first teams who will play in the first round will be
Number 4.
number 4, which is Burbage and Eastern Royal, who were 2023 regional finalists.
Number 9.
And they will play against number 9, which is Horningsham.
Number 7.
Number 7, Coal Hill.
5.
And they will play against Cattistock and Simon.
10.
Number 10 is Parley.
Number 8.
And they will play against Gotaker, who were 2 times champions, 1988 and 1990.
11.
Number 11 is Shrewton, and they will be at home against
6.
number 6, Cholton Down. And the final first round tie is
1.
number 1, which is Avebury, and they will play against
12.
number 12, which is Winsley. So we have 3 balls left in here. The next ball drawn out will play the winner of Parley against Gotaker from the first round. They'll play away from home, and that team is
3.
number 3, Box. So Box get a bye into the second round, but they will play away from home in that tie. And the second ball drawn out here will play away in round 2 against the winners of
13.
So number 13 is Witchhampton, and they will play away against the winners of Shrewton and Cholton Down. And then the final team drawn out here,
Number 2.
number 2 is Beehive Southwick, and they will play against the winners of Avebury against Winsley in round 2. So that concludes the first and second round draw for Group 20. So we move on to Group 21, which is Buckinghamshire, and we have got 10 teams in this group. The first 4 teams drawn out will play in the first round to earn the right of home ties in the second round, and those 4 teams are
Number 2,
which is Bedford Village.
Number 4,
And they play home to Great Brickhill, who were 2023 regional finalists.
7,
Number 7, Stoke Green, who were finalists in 2021.
6,
Number 6, which is Mersey. So the remaining teams get byes into the second round. The first ball drawn out will play away in round 2 against the winners of Bedford Village and the Great Brickhill, and that team is
9,
Number 9, which is Wiltshire. The next team drawn out will play away in round 2 against the winners of Stoke Green and Mersey, and that team is
5,
5, which is Harefield. And then the final 2 ties in this group we'll play in the second round are
10,
which is Winchmore Hill. They'll be at home to
1,
1, which is Ballinger Wagoners. And then the final tie is
8,
number 8, which is Westbury, and they will be at home to
3.
number 3, which is Buckland and Aston Clinton. And that concludes the draw for the first and second round of Group 21. So now we'll move on to Group 22, which is the Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire group. We have got 11 teams in this draw. The first 6 teams out of the hat or the bowl will play in the first round. The remaining teams will get byes to the second round. We'll come on to those ties, but let's do the first round ties to kick off.
Number 5,
Number 5 is Preston. That's Preston, Hertfordshire.
9,
And they'll play against number 9, which is Sharnbrook and Bromham.
10,
10 is St Margaret's Bury.
8,
And they'll play against Sawbridgeworth.
4,
4 is Langleybury, who were 1996 finalists.
11,
And they will play against Wheathampstead. And the next team you draw out will play away in the second round against the winner of Preston and Sharnbrook and Bromham, and that team is
3,
number 3, which is Datchworth. The next team drawn out will play against the winner of St Margaret's Bury and Sawbridgeworth, and that team is
1,
1, which is Bayford and Hertford nondescripts. The next team drawn out will play against the winners of Langleybury and Wheathampstead, and that team is
2,
2, which is Botany Bay. And then the final tie in this group is
7,
7, Reed, 3 times champions Reed, I should say. So 2012, 2017 and 2019, and they will play at home, kicking off their campaign at home this year against
6,
6, which is Redbourne, who were 2020 finalists, so that should be a cracking tie. Yeah. And that concludes the draw for Group 22. So now we move on to Group 23, which is the South Essex group, and we have got 14 teams in this group. The first 12 teams drawn out will play in the first round, and the winners of those ties will earn the right to a home tie in the second round. and 2 teams will get buys to that second round. We'll come on to that, but let's start off with the first round. So, where you go, Hugh?
3.
So, number 3 is Belus, who were 2023 regional champions.
13.
And they will play against Stock.
They'll take Stock. 11.
11 is Rettendon.
14.
And they'll play against Woodham Mortimer.
12.
12 is South Weald.
7.
7 is Ingatstone against Freining.
9.
9 is Little Barfield Village.
8.
8 is Little Baddow.
6.
6 is Horndon on the Hill.
2.
They play against Ardley Green and Havering at Bower.
5.
5 is High Roding.
4.
And they will play against Bentley, who were 2023 regional finalists. So the next ball drawn out, the next team drawn out, will play away in the second round. So these 2 balls left have got buys. They'll play away in the second round against the winner of Horndon on the Hill and Ardley Green and Havering.
Number 1.
That's number 1, which is a bridge. And the final ball drawn out will play against the winners, play away against the winners of High Roding and Bentley, and that team is
Number 10.
Number 10, which is Matching Green. So that concludes the draw for rounds 1 and 2 of Group 23. So now we move on to Group 24, which is Suffolk and North Essex. There are 11 teams in this group. The first 6 teams drawn out will play in the first round. The remaining teams will get a bye into the second round. We'll come on to those fixtures. But essentially, the teams drawn out first, the first 6 teams are playing to earn the right of a home tie in the second round. And those teams are
Number 5.
Number 5, which is Great Totham.
Number 1.
And they will play at home to Atherton and District.
Number 2.
Number 2 is Cavendish.
7.
And they will play at home to Lakenheath.
One of my 2 league centres against them. Number 8.
Number 8 is Stradbroke.
Number 6.
And they will play at home against Great Waltham, who were 2023 regional finalists. So the remaining teams in the draw got buys from the first round. They are into the second round. The first team drawn out will play away against the winners of Great Totham versus Atherton and District, and that team is
Number 4.
Number 4, Easton.
Shout out for my friend Chairman Jamie Harper.
And the next team drawn out will play away in round 2 against the winners of Cavendish against Lakenheath, and that team is
Worlington.
Worlington for 11.
My other league 100.
And the next ball drawn out will play against the winners of Stradbroke against Great Waltham, and that team is
Number 9.
Number 9, Thorpe Ness.
Relative newcomers.
And the final 2 balls in are
Number 3.
Number 3, who will play at home in the second round, that's East Bergholt, and they will play at home to
Number 10.
Number 10, which is Woolpit, who were 2023 regional champions. So that concludes the first and second round draw of Group 24. So now we move on to Group 25, which is Surrey, and we have got 10 teams in this group. The first 4 teams drawn out of the group will play in the first round to earn the right to a second round home tie to the remaining teams who get byes, but I'll come on to those teams in a second. Let's draw out the first 4 teams, please, Hugh.
10.
Number 10 is Valley, who were champions in 2008.
6.
They will play Frensham.
5.
5 is Churt and Hindhead.
7.
7 is Oakwood Hill. So the next team drawn out will play, or the remaining teams in here have byes to the second round. The first team drawn out will play away against the winners of Valley End and Frensham, and that team is
8.
8, which is Rowledge. The next team drawn out will play against the winners of Churt and Hindhead and Oakwood Hill, and they'll play away in the second round. This team is
1.
number 1, which is Addington, who were regional finalists last year. And the remaining 4 teams will play against each other in the second round. They are
3.
3, which is Blackheath, who were 2023 regional champions. They're at home to
4.
4, which is Chobham. And the final tie of this round,
2.
2, which is Badshot-Lee, and they will play at home against
9.
9, which is Shepperton. So that concludes the first and second round draw of Group 25. So now we move on to Group 26, which is the Berkshire group. We've got 11 teams in this group. The first 6 teams drawn out will play in the first round, and they are playing to earn the right of home ties in the second round. The remaining teams will get byes, and then we'll come on to the second round fixtures, which will involve them. But let's kick off with the first 6 teams who are playing in the first round, and they are
7.
number 7, Pinckney's Green.
11.
And they were playing against Wraysbury, who were 2023 regional finalists.
10.
10 is White Waltham.
4.
They are playing at home against Embrook and Bearwood, who were regional champions last year.
9.
9 is Wargrave.
2.
And they are playing at home against Cheveley. And so the remaining balls in there, the remaining teams in there, the first team or the next team drawn out will play away in the second round to the winners of Pinckney's Green and Wraysbury, and that team is
3.
number 3, which is Cook and Bean. The next team drawn out will play against the winners of White, Waltham and Embrook and Bearwood in the second round, and that team is
8.
8, Sunning. The next team drawn out will play away against the winners of Wargrave and Cheveley, and that team is
1.
1, which is Binfield. And then the remaining 2 teams in will play in the second round. So the first one will be at home, and that team is
5.
5, which is Morton. And they will play at home to
6.
6, which is Peppard Stoke Row. And that concludes the draw for the first and second round of Group 26. So now we move on to Group 27, which is Hampshire. There are 19 teams in this group, and the first 6 teams drawn out will play in a preliminary round to earn the right of a home tie in the first round proper against the remaining teams, which we'll come on to. But let's draw out those preliminary teams, Hugh.
7.
So 7 is Hook and Newham Basics, who were quarter finalists last year.
9.
and they will play against Loxheath.
10.
10 is Oakley,
3.
and they will play at home against Cadnam.
2.
2 is Bramshaw, play at home against
13.
13, which is Paultons. The next team drawn out will play away in the first round proper against the winners of Hook and Newham Basics and Loxheath, and that team is
18.
18, which is Titchbourne Park. The next team drawn out will play away in the first round proper against the winners of Oakley and Cadnam, and that team is
17.
17, which is Sway. And the next team drawn out will play away in that first round against the winners of Bramshaw and Paultons, and that team is
12.
12. Overton. And the remaining teams will be drawn for this first round. So the first teams drawn out of each tie will be at home, and they are
16.
so Spars Holt will play at home against
6.
Hambledon, who were 1989 finalists.
The cradle of cricket. 1.
Number 1, which is Amport, they'll be at home to
19.
19, which is Ventnor, 2023 regional finals.
Isle of Wight, lovely spot. 5.
5. Easton and Martleworthy play at home to
14.
14, which is Salisbury Athletic.
15.
Is South Winchester, and they'll be at home to
4.
Calmore Sports, 2021 champions, 2022 finalists. So should be a good fixture.
Ben Johns.
And the final tie of the first round for Group 27 is
11.
11 Oddyham and Greywell, and they will play at home to
8.
8, which is Hursley Park, who were champions in 1992, and that concludes the draw for Group 27. Now for the draw for Group 28. We've got 11 teams in this group. The first 6 teams drawn out will play in the first round to earn the right to a home tie in the second round against the remaining teams. So let's kick off with that first round draw.
4.
Number 4 is Ditcheat.
5.
They're at home to North Perrott, who were 2020 semi-finalists, so in sort of the COVID year.
7.
Shatwick and Polden,
2.
and they will play against Congressbury, who were 2023 regional champions.
8.
8 Stapleton,
3.
they will play against the winners of Cranmore. And the next team drawn out will play away in that second round against the winners of Ditcheat and North Perrott, and that team is
Number 9.
number 9, which is Timsbury. The next team drawn out will play away against the winners of Shatwick and Polden and Congressbury, and that team is
1.
number 1, which is Chew Magna. The next team drawn out will play against the winners of Stapleton and Cranmore.
11.
11, and that is Wemden, 2023 regional champions, so they'll be away in that second round. And then the final 2 teams complete the second round draw, and they are
10.
number 10, which is Uphill Castle, and they will be at home to
6.
number 6, which is Purnell. And that concludes the draw of the first and second round for Group 28. Now we move on to Group 29, Devon and Cornwall. We have got 11 teams in this group. The first 6 teams drawn out will play in the first round to earn the right of a home tie in the second round against the remaining teams who get byes in the first round. We'll come on to that. Let's draw out the first round fixtures now.
6.
Number 6 is Perranporth,
3.
and they will play at home to Grampound Road, who were semi-finalists last year.
11.
11 is Yelverton Bohemians,
5.
and they will play at home to Mount Ambrose.
8.
Number 8 is St Erm,
9.
and they will play against Scythians. The next team drawn out, Hugh, will play against the winners of Perranporth and Grampound Road, and they are
4.
That's Goulville, which is the club from the furthest south, so they are playing away in the first round. Sorry, in the second round of this particular group.
1.
Abbot Skirwell are playing away against the winners of Yelverton Bohemians and Mount Ambrose. The next team drawn out will play away against the winners of St Erm and Scythians, and that team is
2.
which is Constantine. And the final 2 teams in complete the second round draw, and they are
10.
number 10, which is Tail Millers, and they will play against
7.
number 7, which is Roche, who were regional finalists in 2023. So that concludes the first and second round draw of Group 29. So now we move on to Group 30, which is Cambridgeshire and Norfolk. We have got 11 teams in this group. The first 6 teams drawn out will play in the first round to earn the right of a home tie in the second round against the remaining teams who get byes from the first round. We'll come on to those, but let's kick off with the first round fixtures. So Hugh.
1.
Number 1, which is Barnock, and they will be at home to
7.
which is Heatherset and Taz Valley.
10.
10 is Overstrand.
9.
And they will play at home to Nassington.
8.
8 is Histon.
11.
And they will play at home to Winterton. The next team drawn out will play away in the second round against the winners of Barnock and Heatherset and Taz Valley, and they are 4, which is Eton Soken. And the next team drawn out will play against the winners of Overstrand and Nassington, and they are
5.
Foxton, who were 2015 finalists out there at Lords and regional finalists last year. The next team drawn out will play against the winners of Histon and Winterton.
2.
And that is Barney and Full Modston. And then the final 2 teams in to complete the fixtures for the second round are
3.
3, which is Coton, and they will be at home to
6.
6, which is Great Melton. And that concludes the draw for Group 30. So now we move on to Group 31, which is Sussex, and there are 16 teams in this group, so they all go into the first round draw, which makes things simple for us, Hugh. So, do you want to kick off?
Good old Sussex by the Sea. Number 16.
Number 16 are West Chilterton and Fakenham, and they will be at home. They were regional finalists last year, actually. They'll be at home to
Number 4.
Number 4, which is Crowhurst Park.
Number 2.
Number 2 is Bosham, and they will be at home to
3.
Number 3, which is Buxted Park.
Number 1.
Number 1 is Bolney.
5.
5, and they will play at home to Elston.
Number 11.
11, Liphook and Ripsley, who were 2018 finalists. They'll be at home
6.
to Emsworth.
10.
10 is Iffield, or Ifield.
14.
They will play at home to Rottingdean, who were 2011 finalists.
Rest in peace to their president, Michael Jaston, who died the other day. Number 9.
Number 9 is Hadlow Down.
13.
And they will play against Outwood.
Number 7.
Number 7 is Findon, who were 2007 finalists. They'll kick off 2024 at home to
Number 8.
Number 8, which is Glendon Bedingham, who were 2009 champions and regional champions last year as well. And the final fixture is 12, which is Mayfield, and they'll be at home to 15, which is Waldron. So that concludes the first round draw for Group 31. So now we move on to the final group, group number 32, which is the Kent group. Hugh, we have got 15 teams in this group. The first 14 teams drawn out will play in the first round, and a lucky 15th team will get a bye through to the second round, where they will be playing away from home. We'll come on to that fixture in just a second, but let's draw out that first round.
12.
12 is Selling Cavaliers, and they will be at home to
4.
Chesterfield, who were regional finalists last year.
13.
13 is Shoreham and Otford. They'll be at home to
15.
15 West Farley.
6.
6 is Eynsford, 2005 finalists.
8.
8 is High Holstow.
14.
14 Sipton Park. And they'll be at home to
1.
number 1 Addington Village.
11.
Offham will be at home to
7.
Grenfell.
3.
3 is Bidborough, and they will be at home to
2.
number 2, which is Bearsted.
9.
9 Leeds and Broomfield, finalists in 2023, absolutely cracking final, heartbreak for them as they just fell short at the end of the day, but they will kick off 2024 at home
5.
against Edgerton from Kent, and so the team with the bye is
10.
number 10, which is Linton Park, who are 2 times champions, 1978 and 1999. So they will play away in the second round against the winners of Leeds and Broomfield and Egerton. And that concludes the draw for Group 32, and indeed the draw for the Voneus Village Cup competition for 2024. So that's it from us here at Lords for the 2024 Voneus Village Cup draw. Dates for your diary: the preliminary rounds of the competition this year take place Sunday the 14th of April. The first round proper is Sunday the 28th of April, and then that dream final out here at Lords is on Sunday the 15th of September, and that will be an 11 o'clock start. It's going to be a very exciting summer for all the teams who are vying for a place at the Voneus Village Cup final here at Lords.
356 teams, all dreaming about spending a day at HQ, and all to be whittled down to 2 sides in 5 months. It's going to be very interesting to watch how it unfolds.
We're here in February, but believe it or not, the square has been cut. I can see the stripes from here. Lords is starting to look a bit more like summer is just around the corner, so exciting times for all of the teams involved. Please do send us your stories and your photos. Full details of where to send them on our Village Cup site, nationalvillagecup.com. You can follow the competition on that website. You can follow it in the Cricketer magazine as well. Full details of the Cricketer magazine can be found at thecricketer.com. And as Hugh says, we wish all of the teams the very best of luck for a fantastic summer in 2024. That's it here at the Voneus Village Cup final draw.